Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Janet, and if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And if you're a returning subscriber, then welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to review how to start the keto diet, what is ketosis, and what do I do to get started on keto. So I'm going to resort to my laptop, which is open, because I feel like explaining keto is always kind of like a mumbo jumbo when I explain it anyways. So I'm going to read bits and pieces from my computer of information that I found. I can link it down below as well too, but there's lots of information right now on Google for the keto diet, how to get into ketosis. Search YouTube channels. There's other YouTube channels that I started following when I started keto as well too, that are very good, very informative. They do what I eat in a day so that you can get some ideas. So technically what a keto diet is one that relates to ketosis, a metabolical state that's eating low carbs, moderate protein, and high fat that puts in your body. All right. So when you eat carbohydrates, they are broken down into glucose, which your body and brain uses as a primary source of energy. However, on the keto plan, because of the carbohydrate intake is extremely low, the body is forced to convert fat into ketones, also known as ketone bodies, for energy. This process induces a metabolical state known as ketosis, where your body is essentially burning fat for fuel. These benefits won't happen overnight. When it comes to losing weight, the keto diet plan requires staying power. It typically takes 2 to 7 days to enter ketosis, depending on what you are eating and your activity level. All right, so that is the main goal, is to get into ketosis, obviously, right? And that's the keto diet. That's what it is. It's getting into ketosis. It's a metabolical state where your body is burning fat as fuel instead of using the carbohydrates. All right, the standard keto diet is typically 5% carbs, 20% protein, and 75% fat. Fat is going to be like your most important thing that you want to make sure that is pretty high up. Now, I have 20 net carbs. I've been at my goal weight for a while. When I started, I was really strict. I was eating a lot of whole foods. I still eat whole foods, but now I kind of work into some treats, and I eat a lot of things that has like sugar alcohols and fiber to bring down those carbs to get my net carbs. Pretty much what the keto diet is. Obviously if you're watching this video, you probably know the basics of it, but you just don't know how to get started and what to eat. So I've made a few lists of what I did to get started and what I would recommend to you to get started if you're thinking about doing the keto diet. All right. So first off is do your research. You want to make sure you do your research on the keto diet, ketosis, if it's going to be right for you. So like I said, there's a lot of information on Google right now. You may know friends or family that are doing the keto diet, and even on YouTube, there's a lot of information. Watch that over the course of a week or two to really fully commit to the keto diet. There's a lot of restrictions to it, and your body is very addicted to the carbs and to sugars. And that's one thing when you go through the keto flu, when you're starting your keto diet and you've made that commitment, you will feel those withdrawals. Okay, you're going to feel those over the next like 2 to 5 days to get through it. So I just want you to make sure and fully commit that the keto diet is going to be right for you. Keto foods approved list. Make sure that you like some of those foods. Like I really enjoy a lot of like the meat, like the steaks. I enjoy like burgers, stuff like that. So just make sure that you are committed to doing the keto diet and have done your research. Personally, I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be a doc. Well, sometimes I claim to be a doctor, to be honest. But, I'm not a medical doctor by any means. So I just went from my own research and took my own advice, followed it, and had really good results. And I've never felt better in my whole entire life by going keto, for sure. I've gotten off high blood pressure pills. My asthma is under control. My eczema is pretty much non-existent. I still have food allergies, which is actually nuts. That's another primary source of fat when you're on the keto diet. But you know what? I just made it work even without having nuts. So that's the first thing that I want you to do to get started. The next thing I want you to do is to prepare yourself for your keto journey. Set a date, okay? Set a date, whether it's November 1st, November 13th, a Monday, next Monday, whatever. Just make sure you set a date and stick to that date. So in order to stick to that date, you need to be prepared for that. So you need to either get rid of trigger foods that are in your house. So for me, which is weird, it's wheat thins is a trigger. I can eat a whole box. When I first started, like, I could not keep those in the house. It didn't even matter if my family loved it or not. I didn't keep them in the house. That was definitely a trigger for me. The rest of my family is in keto, so of course I couldn't get rid of all my food. But, you know, if there's certain triggers for you, like chips or chocolate, just try to get them out of the house, right? And also you'll need to go grocery shopping, right? So I'll attach a list of keto approved foods down below. And I would start from looking at that food list, and I would make some of your meals from that food list and then go get groceries, okay? So when you're looking at that list, I started really, really simple when I started. So an example for me, I did up a 3-day plan. You can even do up a week, you know, depending on what you like. I suggest doing a meal plan for at least 3 days. Once you get into ketosis, your appetite will be suppressed, right? So after day 3, I feel like you'll kind of start getting it under control, but you just want to make sure of what you're eating are the right things, right? So I will write this down below as well to a 3-day meal plan. I will write that down below, so make sure that you go down and look in the description box, okay? So a 3-day meal plan, simple. I'm allergic to nuts, so I did include some nuts in here, but I don't eat the nuts. Day 1, meal 1, eggs, bacon, cheese, avocado. Bango, easy. Meal 2, I usually just stick to the 2 meals. It's up to you. When you're first starting, you might want to add more calories and slowly just wean yourself down from the calories. But meal 2, Mayo Crusted chicken. I actually did that recipe on YouTube, so I will link that up in the cards. You can resort to some of my meals that I've made. And green beans, a cauliflower bake. You can research cauliflower bake. I don't think I've done that recipe on YouTube, but I make it quite a bit. Me and my youngest love it, even though she's not keto. And that would be your meal 2. Day 2, meal 1, omelet with ham and cheese. Pretty simple. Meal 2, steak and Caesar salad. I wouldn't put a limit on the amount that you eat at first. I didn't. I wasn't weighing or really being that strict. I was just eating till I felt like full, like, you know what I mean? I wasn't overeating, but I was making sure that I was sticking to the keto approved foods. All right. Day 3, meal 1 is a bento box. So I have hard-boiled egg, nuts, meat, and cheese. Just make kind of like a little snack plate for yourself, right? And then meal 2 is a bunless burger, which you can put like the mayo, bacon, cheese, all that stuff on this bunless burger. Wrap it in lettuce, put it on a bed of lettuce, just no bun, and whatever side you decide to have with that. So I usually have a salad. If I do have a bunless burger, I usually have just a side salad, and you can have the dressings. Just make sure that you look at the nutritional information. Looking at nutritional information for things like that will be really beneficial. Obviously for whole foods like bacon, eggs, cheese, for the most part, they are going to be very low in carbs, if any carbs. But when you start buying like your dressings or anything like that, your mayo or whatever, make sure that you're looking on the nutritional information, because that'll help you decide on the lower amount of carbs is what you're going for, okay? Another thing that I would buy when I go grocery shopping, when you're going to get all your keto approved foods, is your vitamins. I've explained how important vitamins are. Very, very important when you're first starting. During that keto flu, you will feel really lethargic, sluggish, a detoxing. You'll be cranky. It'll be all the above. You'll feel like quitting, and just stick through it. Drink your water and make sure you're taking your vitamins every day. Potassium and magnesium are going to be very important. They are going to keep your electrolytes up so that you do feel good, so that you're not, suffering through this keto flu. Another thing that I had suggested is drink your electrolytes. So that would be the Powerades and the Gatorades. However, you need to make sure that they are 0 carbs, okay? The sugar-free ones, They sell them in grocery stores. They even sell them at gas stations. Pick yourself up a couple of those, if not like a 6-pack, and have that. That'll really help your electrolytes as well too, and you'll feel a lot better. And take headache pills. You know, if you need to, take headache pills. I know sometimes when I started, the headache was just too much. Like, I don't suffer from migraines or anything, but it was harsh. So I did take a couple headache pills, and you know, it did help, right, to get you through that little hump. Like I said, it's everybody's different. It could take you 2 days, it could take you 5 days to get into ketosis, but once you get there, you will feel absolutely amazing, I promise. So in the beginning, I would suggest for you to log your net carbs. So your net carbs is your carbohydrates minus the fiber, minus any sugar alcohols that you'll be eating, okay? And that will result in your net carbs, okay? So if something has 10 net carbs and it has 8 grams of fiber and 1 alcohol sugar, that item per serving will be 1 net carb. So keep track of your net carbs. Do not go over 20 net carbs per day. You want to keep it under 20 net carbs. So at first I would start with that. I wouldn't necessarily be tracking other macros right now as far as protein and your fats. Just try to remember fats. A lot of people say it's really, really hard to get in my fats. But if you can have nuts, that's an easy source of fats. Add some olive oil to your steaks or your chicken or your omelets or whatever you're cooking. That's a good way to get extra fats. Add an avocado. You know, I usually try to have an avocado a day, if not a whole one, a half a one. It just really bumps up my fats because I can't have nuts. So I really try to get those fats other ways, and in your coffee as well too. I use heavy cream, so that'll kind of boost up your fats. So mainly think about your fats, be cautious of that as well too. But I wouldn't really keep track of macros like the first week. Just be getting into ketosis and keeping track of your net carbs is what I would suggest. And make sure you're drinking your water in the beginning, okay? So your water will help you with those electrolytes as well too. Will help you replenish some of those like cravings that you're getting, right? And I suggest drinking at least 2 liters a day. You know, really try to flush out your system. It's getting rid of those carbs, it's getting rid of those sugars, and you know, you just kind of want to flush your system. Like drinking water just on a daily basis is good for you, right? So it definitely has a lot of health benefits anyways, but some people forget to do that and have a really hard time drinking water. If you do have a hard time drinking water, I suggest putting some of that Mayo water enhancer in it. It doesn't have any carbs in it. And that's what I try to tell people, you know, in the first week, if you're not really a water drinker, try drinking that, and then try like the next week, half of your water would be with that Mayo, half of your water would just be plain water, right? My biggest suggestion would be to be prepared. You know, just like any diet, right? You're going to prepare and you're going to get the groceries for it, and you're going to kind of prepare yourself mentally to be going through this, right? That's what's really important. And it's a mindset. So as long as you're prepared, you write down, maybe you're logging what you're eating, you're logging your net carbs, right? And kind of like think about tomorrow. Think about tomorrow's meals and write them out so that you are prepared. If you need to take out hamburger the night before, right? At least you know what you're going to have tomorrow to stay on track, right? That's why most of us fall off our diets, right? Is because we're just not prepared. You know, we'll go traveling or we'll go to work and we don't take stuff with us. We don't think ahead of where we're going to stop to eat. And, you know, when you go to work, depending on where you work, like you might work in an office and the only option maybe is fast food, right? Of course you can get a salad, but you know what? Those first 3 days, you're not going to want to get a salad and you're going to want to go back to your old ways. And that's why I really, really strongly say just to be prepared and have your meals ready even, you know, maybe do like some meal prep. And meal prep those for 3 or 4 days, just so that you do stay on track and to get yourself mentally ready. And this is about you, right? Okay, I want to help you succeed, and it's only you that matters. Don't worry about what your husband is eating. Don't worry about what your kids are eating and or not eating. This is going to be about you and your journey and what you want to achieve, okay? And it's a moment where you have to be selfish and, you know, put yourself first for once, right? Maybe your mom, or maybe you take care of your mom and dad, right? You do a lot of caregiving, and this needs to be about you, and that's how you'll stick with it. You know, you're not doing it for somebody else, and you're doing it for you and how you feel, right? And so just look into the keto diet. Like I said, it's not for everybody, and that's why I do suggest doing your research first. You know, I have a lot of people that come up to me and they say, "Oh, you look great. Like, what have you been doing?" Right? And I tell them, I'm like, I've been on the keto diet, and, you know, I limit my carbs, right? And I feel amazing. I've gotten off my blood pressure pills. You know, I list all these things that my life has improved. And I would say over half of them is probably a negative response, surprisingly, because they can't live without their carbs, right? And, you know, well, they could never eat like that, you know, or they could never do that. And you know what I say to them? I say, perfect, like, you don't have to. You know, I'm not telling you. You asked me what I did. I'm sharing what I have done and what I know. But you know what? If you can't give up the carbs, then that's great. That's good for you. I had to. I know how I feel when I eat carbs. I feel sluggish. I feel tired, sick. My stomach gets sick. You know what I mean? So it was just, keto was just right for me. Then you know what? Find what works for you, right? If it's Weight Watchers, if it's cutting calories, if it's keeping your diet the same and working out, that's awesome. Like, that's great. Anything that is in a calorie deficit is going to be beneficial. You're going to be losing weight no matter what you do. And, you know, everybody decides what works for them. And that's why I do preach about the keto diet, because of how it's made me feel and the results that I've had. And I would love for everybody to feel this way. And, you know, that's why I suggest it. And that's why I started this YouTube channel, is to share information that I've learned, to share recipes, to share meals, and, you know, the things that medical, health-wise, that I've gotten rid of, right? And, but you know what? You can still get those same results with whatever diet that you choose, right? It's just what you decide to do. Do your research on what you feel will work for you. And it's a lifestyle. It's not going to happen for 10 months and then you're done. You know, that's with me. Like I've said before, this is a forever journey for me. This is my life. This is my lifestyle. And, you know, I think now that I'm older, I've come to the realization of that will be my life. And I'm okay with that. I have to deal with that, right? It's a food addiction. Just like other addicts have to deal with their own addiction on a daily basis. And I do as well too. And I've come to terms with that, right? So I just wanted to share on what the keto diet was and how to get started, because I get a lot of questions from people. How do I start the keto diet? What is the keto diet and how can you be successful on it? So I thought I would do this video to kind of share that information with you guys. And I'll link some meal ideas as well too in the cards above. And you can go through some of my previous videos. I do try to share like what I eat in a day and, you know, where I get some of my keto foods, because I'm allergic to nuts. So I can't have almond flour. A lot of breads and stuff and things are made with the almond flour. You know what I mean? So you just have to make it work. Whatever, you know, don't let that stop you, right? If you're determined, where there's a will, there's a way, right? And that's why I just wanted to share this video with you, and hopefully you'll get some inspiration from this and you will resort to some of my meal ideas and on how to get started. I will also link my top 10 essentials on keto as well too, because there's definitely 10 things that I would suggest you probably get when you're starting keto as well too. And you'll be successful on it as long as you got that mindset and that determination. I know you'll be successful. And all right, everyone, I hope everybody enjoyed that video and I hope it was helpful for you. And it gives you some suggestions on how to get started and how to plan your success story, right? And it's never too late. You know, we have a lot of holidays coming up. We have Thanksgiving and we have Christmas and New Year's. And the best time is to start now. You know, don't wait until the new year. Just make your plan and start now. And, you know, by Christmas time, you'll be feeling amazing. You could have 25 pounds lost if you started today or next week, you know? So hopefully this inspires you to get started. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure you leave them down below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well, too, so you'll be notified when I have a new video. Thanks for watching.